So, for those who are new, shalom. Shalom. Very nice, good job. That's a Hebrew word right there. Okay, so, as you probably know as a teenager, one of the things that y'all are trying to figure out, Caesar, is who on earth are you? That's a question, and it's not just you, it happens your entire life. In high school, in junior high, you're trying to answer that question. Who are you? And you find out by who you surround your friends with, maybe. You're just trying to work, and then when you get to college, you find out who you are even more, and then you become an adult, and you find out who you are even more, and you just keep learning, keep going. And it's a struggle. Some people never find out who they are, and they just always feel empty. And we're going to be talking about tonight or basically who you are to God. So dear God, I thank you. I thank you for all you've done tonight. We want you to be heard. We thank you and we need you. It's in your glorious name. Amen. All right. So we're talking about this, and did y'all know that I have the most incredible wife in the world? Yeah. I know, right? Miss Victoria's back there. She's incredible. And she's so amazing. Now, here's something you might also know. We're totally different people. And some of y'all might see this. Y'all think I'm the crazy, hyper one, and she's solemn and quiet. But when we go home, that switches. I become the person that's just like, I just love you. Sit here quietly, and my wife is like, yes, can I have a snack? And so she's just excited, and she's jumping, she's like moving around, she's the one with all the energy. And we're just different people in general. Like, whenever she thinks logically and thinks through things. Whenever I think, oh wait, I don't think. So there's differences. There's things that are different between me and her. And one of those things, and a lot of those differences is because I'm a man and she's a woman. There's differences in how we live and how we act. There's so many things different. Now tonight we're going to talk about some things. Hey, eyes on me. Willie, eyes on me. Alright, listen. Tonight we're starting this series because we have Priceless coming up for you ladies, okay? And I was thinking that the stuff we're going to learn is so important. These guys need to be shaped up. So we're going to be talking about, we're starting the series Priceless all the way leading up to the amazing day. Okay? So we're getting started, and men and women are different. But I'm going to tell you this. No one man, there's nothing that says like all men are like this and all women are like this. We live in a world that likes to separate. And now here's the thing, all of us are different. There's no girl in this room that is exactly like someone else. And there's not any guys in here that are the same as anyone else. All of us are unique and different, and it's crazy. And that makes it even harder to know who we are. But there's one thing that all of us have in common. We're all called to know and trust God. So we're going to get into that. Who does God think you are? I'm going to start today with a story in the Bible. Crazy, Wednesday night, story in the Bible. I know, crazy. But this is the first story. In the Bible, there's a lot of books and a lot of stories, but we're talking about the first story you come to. In the book of Genesis, the first few chapters, it's God created the world. God created the world, it was beautiful, and He created this specific garden for man to live in. And He created, eyes on me, I want y'all to get this, He created man and a woman equal. He did not create man to be better, He did not create woman to be, He created them equal. And it was perfect. And God said, dude, guys, this is a beautiful garden with everything you could ever need. You can have anything except this. There's this one tree over here. It's the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Don't eat from that. Don't eat from that. There's consequences. I don't want you to have to do it. Just trust in me. Don't eat it, okay? Did y'all know that all warning signs exist because some idiot already did the thing that it says it's warning you about. If it says warning, don't stick your hand into an electric socket. There's a reason. There was one day that Derek got excited. Now, but so God's like, hey guys, please, this is your one warning. Don't do that. Trust in me. Trust me, you don't want to do that. And so Adam and Eve, they were chilling in the garden, walking around, man and woman together, and they walk up by the tree of good and evil. And it says this deceiver, this serpent was there. And the serpent spoke, which is already weird in itself, weird for a story. But the deceiver spoke and said, hey guys, hey, are you hungry? And the deceiver says like this, hey guys, why don't y'all come eat out of this tree? And obviously, Adam and Eve know they shouldn't. Eve even says, no, we're not. The God told us not to because it could lead to death and all this other stuff. And the enemy, the deceiver's like, shh, no, that's not going to happen. That's not, dude, if you eat from this, you're not going to die. What really happens, Loki, when you eat from this tree is you're going to become just like God. Yeah, you're going to eat this tree, you're going to become just like God. It's going to be awesome. And they're like, I mean, it'd be cool to be like God. It'd be cool. And what they don't realize is God already made them in His image. They're already like God. But they do this. Instead of trusting what God said, that God's going to take care of them, they're going to take it into their own hands. And Eve grabs the fruit, takes a bite out of it. And then she gives it to Adam, who's right there with her. Boys. She gives it to Adam. Adam eats it. And here's something that you need to know. In the Garden of Eden, Adam and Eve were naked. And here's the thing, they were completely naked because of this. They weren't ashamed of each other. They weren't afraid that either of them were going to judge each other. They were completely trusting in God and free. The moment that they ate from the fruit, they both realized that they were naked. And they covered themselves up because they were afraid. They were afraid of being taken advantage of, or afraid of being ashamed. They were ashamed, and so they took and covered themselves. And then God comes, and He comes in, and they hide. And God's like, dude, guys, where are y'all? I know you're there. And they come out, and God's like, dude, what did y'all do? What happened? What did y'all do? And Adam sucks. Adam's first thing to do is like, well, it wasn't me. She gave me the fruit. Immediately blames the woman. Way to go, guys. But then Eve isn't much better because Eve, the first thing she does is says, well, the snake told me to. And they just pass it on the blame. And God's like, guys, you're idiots. I warned you. And now, hey, boys, if anything else, I'm going to have to move you over here. I don't want to, but I will move you. Stop talking. Now listen. Here's what happens next. God tells them the consequences. And we're going to get into all of them, but I want to specifically start first with the woman's consequence. This is the consequence. Aubrey, I want y'all to hear this, Loki. I want y'all to listen. This is the consequence that God says. We see in Genesis 3:16. Okay? This is what it says. Then He, God, said to the woman, I will sharpen the pain of your pregnancy, and in pain you will give birth, and you will desire to control your husband, but he will rule over you. Now, real quick, sad y'all leave. I want to let you know, that's a weird verse already, but it actually doesn't translate what it really means. Because it was originally written in Hebrew, and so many people are like, okay, because Eve messed up, I'm going to have pain because in childbirth, that sucks. But that's not what that means. The word pain there, the Hebrew word is itzabon. Everyone say itzabon. It's like itzabon. So itzabon means pain, but it never refers to, it's in the Bible multiple times, but it never refers to labor pain. There's actual other words that mean that. It's not this. It's a bone means grief, toil, anxiety, hardship. It's not much better, but it's not labor pain. And then you get to where it says pregnancy or giving birth. The word there doesn't actually mean those either. I don't know why people translate that, because that's not what it means. The word there is actually, it means conceive. And what it's talking about is everything around it. The ability to become pregnant, or the circumstances of your relationships with your husband, with your child, with everything going on, there's going to be anxiety, hardship, and problems. There's deception. There's so many. He's saying right now, there's going to be this. And it's not saying, women, you're going to have childbirth. I believe, even if it's not sin, it would have been painful because it's a painful thing. But the reality is now there's hurt in the relationships. And now the thing, God didn't make it this way. His perfect thing was man and woman together, equal, to have perfect relationships with each other. But because they chose to trust their own selves and trust in God, there was broken. And it says right here, you will desire to control your husband, but he will rule over you. It wasn't meant to be that. It's not meant to be a power struggle. Ladies, y'all gonna have to deal with guys that are gonna try to control you. They're gonna try to push you down, say you're not worth it, say you're not enough. There are gonna be men who call you out, who are gonna catcall, treat you like trash, and they're gonna try to push you down. And guys, there's going to be women who try to control you and push you down and do the same thing. Hey, in the background, that's not what it was meant for. And now the hard part is this. The terms, I will. Everyone say, I will. God says, I will sharpen your pain. So right here, God's telling them the new norm. These are the consequences of your actions, but I'm going to sharpen your pain for this. This is going to be the thing you have to trust me on. The reason why there's anxiety, there's hardship, is because those opportunities for you to trust God, because from the beginning they didn't, and now you're going to have to trust God with this. And we see actually in the next verse, I don't have it up, but the next verse, men have itzabone too. You have itzabone, and you're called to have itzabone in how you work and provide for your family. You're going to strive, and it's going to be hard for you. You're going to have grief and anxiety over taking care of the people you love. Now, I also want to say this. This passage was written to a certain people, Layla, in a certain time. And at that certain time, women's worth was found in the relationships within their family. Was it found in, are you a mom? Was it found in, are you taking care of your family? Those relationships were the biggest and hardest thing for them to trust God. That's where their focus was. But we live in a new day. Welcome to 2023. Glad y'all are here. Girls, your worth is not found in your family. Your worth is not found in your relationships. Your worth is not found in having kids. Literally, this week, people have judged me and my wife because we don't have kids, so we don't know anything. That is not what defines you. You are not defined by this. And just as men, you are not defined by your success and the ability to get money and provide. You are not defined by the new things. But the same problem we do have is trust. So God right here is talking to a certain people in a certain age. To you, it might be different. What are you struggling to trust God with? What are you struggling to trust in Him? Now, why trust in God? So, the enemy, that deceiver, still exists. And Fabian, the reality is that deceiver wants to take you down a road where you trust in yourself and you alone. And every time we trust in ourselves, it messes up. When we trust in ourselves, we get kicked ourselves out of it. When we trust in our own problems, when we trust in our own strength, it doesn't match up. And so here's the issue, here's why. Here's why you should trust God. Because the deceiver, the enemy, is coming after you, Iris. It's coming after you, Derek. It's coming after you, Willie. It's coming after you, Uriah. The enemy is attacking you. And I'm going to tell you, doesn't matter how big you are, doesn't matter how threatening you can be, doesn't matter how many smack talk you can do, the enemy is not scared of you. He's not scared of you. And so you need help when dealing with this enemy. Now, I'm not sure if y'all can guess, but I'm not the scariest person. I'm sure, I feel like most people aren't scared by me. If anything, they're embarrassed by me. I'm not a scary person. And it was worse in high school. I was even shorter I wasn't scared. But I had friends who come to me with their problems. And I had another friend, his name was Jeremiah. Jeremiah was a football player. Jeremiah was big. And I mean like big. He was huge. He was tough. He was my friend. He was a big teddy bear. I love that guy. But he was tough. And so people would come to me with their issues, and they're like, dude, Aaron, this one's picking on me. This one's saying crap to me. Aaron, this guy, they're spreading rumors. And I'd be like this, hey, if they bring that to you again, come to me. I will get Jeremiah to deal with it. Because no one's scared of me. But Jeremiah, that says something different. Now here's the thing. The enemy is not scared of you. You're not a threat to him. But when you trust God, you become a threat. We're going to read another verse. Everyone say enmity. Enmity. Enmity means this. We're opposing someone. You're actively opposing. Like if, let's say Nehemiah comes and he runs at me and tackles me, I let it happen, not enmity. If he runs up here and I hold him back, that's opposing. I'm pushing back. And we see this verse, right before this verse, God talks to the deceiver, the enemy, and he says this in verse 15. He says this to the enemy. In verse 15. Verse 15. Okay. And I will cause hostility or enmity between you and the woman, between your offspring and her offspring. He will strike your head and you will strike his heel. Guys, the word hostility is enmity. Between the enemy and the woman, there's going to be enmity. Women, ladies, y'all are not called to let the world or the enemy take you down. You are called to stand up and oppose the enemy and be actively opposing the enemy. You're called to have enmity, and it goes for all of you guys too. You're called to stand up against what the enemy is trying to do, and it has to do completely with trust. Some of y'all got issues, some of y'all got problems, some of y'all got friends that you know you shouldn't. Some of y'all got issues. The reality is you are called to trust God with all of it. And when you trust God, your life changes. Because you got Jeremiah behind you. You got someone who's actually going to make you a threat. You got God behind you when you trust in him. When you trust in God with how you look and how you see yourself and know that he made you in a certain way, you will become confident. When you trust in God with your relationships, when you trust in God with the people that God's put in your life, you will become independent. When you trust in God with your future and career, he will make you bold. If you trust in God with your problems, you will be an overcomer. Your worth and your identity should be found in the God that you trust. And God has all this for you. And he wants you to succeed and overcome and become who you're meant to be. It has to do with trust. 1 Corinthians 15:10 says this. This is a guy named Paul. And he writes this because he's been going through a lot of crap, a lot of stuff's going on in his life. And he says this in 1 Corinthians 15:10. Marissa, in 1 Corinthians 15:10, she over there chatting it up. But by the grace of God, I am what I am. And his grace to me was not without effect. No, I worked harder than all of them, yet not I, but the grace of God that was with me. Here's what this means. He's trying to say this. Guys, I work hard. I do a lot of stuff. I succeed. I go through life, but it's not me. I am what I am because of God and his love. I trust him, therefore I can be who I'm meant to be. So in your struggle with who you are, who you're meant to be, know that you're called to trust God and let him be your backup. Let him make you a threat. Let trust in him when you're going through things. We're in this series called Sourced. It's a Priceless. The Priceless is the event, but we're in this series called Sourced. And you, all of you, are meant to be sourced by God. And that starts by trusting in him and finding your identity in him. We're going to pray, and I want y'all to be thinking about this. Who are you? Who are you? Are you someone that's defined by relationships? Defined by success? Defined by all these different things? Or are you going to find your worth in God and trust in him with your life? I don't have to worry about anything in the world because I can trust him. And you're called to have that same relationship. Dear God, I thank you for tonight. God, it's hard whenever people miss out. I want people to be here to experience what you have. And it doesn't always happen. But I thank you for the students who were here and heard you. I want all of these men and these women to find their identity in you. And know that there's going to be pain. Know that there's going to be it's a bone in their life. But that is a challenge for them to trust in you. Let them trust in you with everything that's going on. We thank you for these teens. We thank you for tonight. You are a good and loving God. Please move. Let us be sourced by you. It's in your name we pray.